This is your hometown station, WDBJ7, in high definition. News 7 at 11 starts right now.
This was the famous Haunted Monster Museum before, and then well-known artist Mark Klein takes us through now what's left of his Natural Bridge attraction after a fire burns through everything. Good evening, I'm Chris Hurst.
And I'm Holly Davis. New at 11, it is a popular tourist destination that attracts sightseers from all over. Tonight, though, it is gone. The Natural Bridge haunted house went up in flames this evening. WDBJ7's Bryce Williams was on the scene. He joins us now with the details. Bryce.
Well, Holly, it looked like the scene from a horror movie. Fire crews kept us at a distance because they were concerned about the toxic fumes. However, we were given exclusive access thanks to video provided to us by Mark Klein himself. We took this video with his flip cam.
But now it is, so. Now, I mean, if they can save that building.
Owner Mark Klein walked us through the frenzied moment as flames ripped through buildings holding years of memories.
You can't get through the gate. Is it too narrow? There's the gate. There's a big gate there. If they could, yeah, I mean, you can cut a slot right beside it, I guess.
You could actually hear the fire crackling. These next images really give you an up-close view of what was lost.
Yep. There goes the Bigfoot trailer. I gotta say, Mrs. Bigfoot, and she's in here. I really like that phone booth.
For people in this community, the loss is heartbreaking.
Well, I think it's just so critical to have these attractions because Rockbridge County really caters to tourists, and it's important to have those sites that people can come to see that are not only historic, but fun at the same time.
Fire crews from 6 other agencies responded to the scene. We're told one firefighter suffered extreme anxiety, but he was treated on the scene and is doing just fine. No word yet on what caused the fire. Now, this isn't the first time Mark Klein's complex was lost in a fire. Chris is here with a look at that.
Bryce, thank you. As you may know, this is now the second major loss from Mark Klein in a fire. More than a decade ago, amid rumors of arson, he lost his studios much the same way he has tonight.
I mean, my stuff, my props, my life's work, it's gone.
It was almost 11 years ago to the day, April 9th, 2001, Mark Klein lost his enchanted castle to a devastating fire.
Fire investigators aren't saying much right now, but the park's owner, Mark Klein, fears that it may have been arson.
Here's a letter saying something about hellfire and brimstone, something about the altar of Satan.
Klein has always claimed the fire was started by religious zealots, but officials never determined it was arson. His whimsical fiberglass sculptures are well known in the Roanoke Valley, and in 2001, Klein was determined to rebuild his studios.
I just want to make the world a beautiful place, and if I got to start again, I got to start again.
Over the summer that same year, the work began to rebuild his complex.
The idea is to have the architecture be so fantastic that people are just going to drive miles just to see the building.
And for the past decade, they have. Klein was even recently seen putting up a King Kong statue at the Taubman Museum of Art in Roanoke. His haunted museum and Natural Bridge has been a popular tourist attraction.
So people see this big elaborate design, they're going, oh great, I'm going to go into the castle. But where they really enter in is through the sewer.
And here again is that photo of part of that complex tonight, flames gutting his haunted museum. It's not believed any other attractions like Foamhenge or the Dino Kingdom have been damaged.
Wow, a lot going on there. It is hard to believe 5 years ago today, grief consumed the campus of Virginia Tech after a gunman opened fire, killing 32 people. Virginia's governor was one of many speaking at a candlelight vigil this evening. WDBJ7's Elizabeth Harrington is live in Blacksburg, where that ceremony wrapped up about an hour ago. Elizabeth.
Well, people here will never forget what happened on April 16th, 2007. The Hokies will never forget the 32 lives taken that day. As Governor Bob McDonnell says, people here have chosen not to curse the darkness, but to light a candle.
Let's go!
10,000 2,000 people stood together on the drill field at Virginia Tech Monday night.
I just wanted to be together with the Hokie Nation.
It capped an emotional candlelight vigil that began at dusk with Governor Bob McDonnell addressing the crowd. He remembers that day 5 years ago, a day that shook everyone.
Everybody remembers what they were doing, where they were, how they felt, what they were thinking on that cold Monday morning.
Then the names of all 32 victims were read aloud.
Nicole Regina White.
It was followed by an affirmation of that person, their loves, their achievements, and dreams.
Loved God, people, and working with children.
Most of the crowd here didn't know the victims, but that didn't matter. They're all Hokies.
I love the fact that everyone still comes out here and shows their appreciation.
After the sun set, people lit candles one by one.
Everyone's just thinking about what happened.
Their rallying cry pierced the silence. This day of remembrance officially ends at 11:59 tonight. That is when the ceremonial candle will be extinguished. 5 years later, this remains a heartbreaking day for the Hokie Nation. Live in Blacksburg, Elizabeth Harrington, WDBJ7.
You remember 5 years ago, it was snow flurrying, a very cold April 16th. It certainly was a mild day in Blacksburg as they tied a record high for the day today, but that is not likely again going to happen this week. Chief Meteorologist Robin Reed here now to tell us why.
Yep, we had that one-day push, actually started yesterday and continued today, but now the winds are going to shift directions, bring in not even really normal air. It's just going to be a little bit cooler than it was today. We were kind of watching for some scattered showers, hoping that maybe a few could sneak into this dry air that's over us, but watch that satellite imagery and those clouds just fade away as it draws a little bit closer to us. You want to see something really weird? Even at this late hour, look at how warm it is. Everybody in the upper 60s to the mid 70s. And we don't anticipate a real cool down tonight, maybe about 10 more degrees, and that'll be about it. That's not the only high numbers. As you might expect, the pollen count's pretty high. Showers on Wednesday could do the trick, but look what happens on Thursday, right back in the high range.
New at 11, fire investigators have determined a person using a cutting torch is what started a brush fire in Montgomery County tonight. This fire began just before 6 o'clock off Walton Road in the Plum Creek area. It burned about 18 acres, and at one point there was concern because the flames were inching close to several homes. One person living in the area had to be treated for breathing in too much smoke. A $2,000 reward is being offered for information on this 125-acre fire in Patrick County from last week. Officials have determined the fire on Poorhouse Creek Road was in fact arson. At least a dozen families had to evacuate.
A piece of Danville's rich textile history, to borrow cliche, up in smoke. Tonight, investigators are piecing together clues to find out what happened. Flames destroyed the old Hilton Hall, a former dorm for women employees, and later an administration building at Dan River Mills. Firefighters worked through the evening Sunday and spent much of today putting out hot spots. Overnight, the roof caved in and most of the top floor collapsed.
This is my home. It means a lot to me. Like Dan River School, Schofield School, I went there all the way through to high school every day. I walked in front of this building every day for 11 years.
An owner tells WDBJ7 the building was going to be turned into apartments. He wouldn't say what's going to happen now.
This weekend marked the 100th anniversary of the Titanic's sinking, and you can get in on that history in Danville. Nancy Astor, who was born in Southern Virginia, was cousins with John Jacob Astor IV, the richest man on board when the Titanic went down. In honor of the Titanic's anniversary, there's a special exhibit of artifacts on display at the Langhorne House. The exhibit opens on Thursday.
I love that history. It has a local connection, too.
It's so interesting. That's what's mind-blowing, you know? Small world.
Yeah. A lack of lunch breaks might be the reason for those hunger pangs you hear at work. I hear it next to me. But breaks in our state are a luxury.
Go figure. And the NFL has had enough of the drama in the stands. Out-of-control fans will soon have no choice but to come correct.